Imagine your garden in December. Dead skeletons of tomatoes. Peppers are black mummies. Everything froze on the first night the thermometer dropped below zero. For most Polish gardeners, winter means the end of fresh vegetables. It means reaching for old jars of dried peppers that lost their taste half a year ago. But high in the Andes, a plant grows that laughs at the frost. While your peppers die in September, this one is just waking up. It doesn't grow for one season. It grows for 15 years. It's not a bush, it's a tree taller than you. And the fruit isn't thin and empty like a common pepper. It's thick, juicy, and crunches like an apple. But there's one problem. If you go to a garden store today, 99% of pepper seeds will be white. Sweet pepper, jalapeno, cayenne, all have flat white seeds. If you like this discovery, leave a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to Green Treasure. These are seeds of annual plants genetically programmed to die after one summer. You're buying a subscription to failure. If you want the immortal Inca pepper, you must look for something forbidden by modern industry. You must find a black seed. It looks like a piece of black volcanic glass. Inside this black shell lies the genetic code for survival in the Polish winter. Stay with me. I'll show you why black seeds can change your garden forever. And if you want to discover more forgotten plants that grow in winter when others die, I've prepared something special for you. A detailed guide that shows plants capable of surviving the Polish winter. You'll find it in the pinned comment and the video description. This is the story of rocoto. To understand this plant, you must forget about the sunny fields of Spain. You must fly to the misty forests of Peru and Bolivia, 2,500 meters above sea level. The air is thin. Nights are freezing. The wind pierces right through you. The Incas didn't have electric heaters or down jackets, so how did they survive in such cold? They used a biological furnace. They used rocoto. They called it rocoto or locoto, which means fire. But it wasn't just about the spiciness of the food. It was the physiology of survival. When you eat a rocoto pepper, capsaicin acts differently on your body. Because the pulp is so thick and oily, the heat is deep and long-lasting. It expands your blood vessels. It pumps hot blood to your frozen fingers and toes. For an Inca shepherd guarding a flock on a freezing night, chewing rocoto wasn't a snack. It was a portable campfire in their pocket. It kept their blood moving when the outside world tried to freeze them. And because this plant evolved in this brutal environment, it learned a trick no other pepper knows. Most peppers love the sun. If you put rocoto in full sun, it suffers and wilts. It loves cool mist. It thrives in the shade. It's an anti-pepper. So if this plant is a biological miracle, if it acts like a heater and lives for 15 years, why have you never seen it in a store? Is it too spicy? No? Is it poisonous? Absolutely not. The real villain is the supply chain. Modern supermarkets require vegetables that behave like cardboard. They want peppers with thin, dry skins that can be tossed into a crate, bumped around in a truck for 1,000 kilometers, and kept on a shelf for 2 weeks without rotting. Jalapeno and cayenne fit this description perfectly. They are mostly empty space and dry fiber. Rocoto is different. Rocoto is juicy. When you cut a rocoto, it doesn't look like a pepper. It looks like a tomato or a plum. The walls are incredibly thick and fleshy, filled with moisture. For a chef, it's heaven, taste, crunch, and juiciness. But for a shipping company, it's a nightmare. This extra juice makes the fruit heavy and delicate. If you stack them too high, they'll bruise. If you send them too far, they'll spoil. The industry decided that taste was too expensive to ship, so they erased rocoto from the market. They replaced it with peppers that are easy to transport but boring in taste. They sacrificed quality for logistics, but their loss is your gain. Because the same characteristics that make rocoto unsuitable for shipping make it an ideal garden plant. Let's talk about numbers and the return on investment in your garden. If you plant standard sweet peppers or jalapenos, white seeds, you're playing a losing game. You buy seeds, nurture the seedling, water all summer, It gives you maybe 30, 40 peppers. Then the first frost comes, and the plant dies. The next year, you have to start over. Again, you pay for seeds, again for soil. It's a subscription model. If this information is useful to you, leave a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss out on more videos about forgotten plants. And remember the guide I prepared for you in the pinned comment and in the description. Now, look at Rocoto, because it's a perennial, you plant it once. By the third or fourth year, Rocoto isn't a bush, it's a tree. It can cover an entire trellis or fence. It develops a woody stem. One mature Rocoto plant can produce from 500 to 1,000 peppers in one season. Mathematically, one Rocoto tree equals 20 standard pepper plants. Think of the savings. That's 19 fewer holes to dig, 19 fewer seeds to buy, 19 fewer plants to water. It's the definition of lazy gardening with maximum yield. But the real advantage isn't just the numbers, it's the winter experience. Imagine it's November. It's cold. Your neighbor is eating store-bought chili powder that tastes like dust. You step out onto a sheltered terrace or into a greenhouse. You pick a fresh, heavy, bright red Rocoto. You bite into it. Crunch. It crunches like a green apple. The juice explodes in your mouth. Then comes the warmth. The deep, warming heat of the Incas that spreads through your chest. Eating a fresh, juicy vegetable in the middle of winter changes your psychology. It reminds you that life goes on. It's not just the heat, it's a morale booster. But before you plant these beasts, you need to know the rules. Rocoto is not a normal pepper. If you treat it like a jalapeno, if you put it in scorching sun and ignore its hairy nature, it will fail. Now, let's get the right plant. First, identity check. When you buy seeds, it's your only defense against scams. Ignore the beautiful pictures on the packaging. Look at the seeds themselves. They must be black as coal, like small pieces of coal. If the seeds are white, light brown, or yellow, you're buying a lie. When you plant these black seeds, nature will confirm your choice. You'll know you have a true woody pepper when you see purple flowers instead of white ones and feel fuzzy hair on the leaves. And when you cut your first harvest, you'll see these black seeds again, your perpetual supply for the future. Second, the shade protocol. This is a paradox that confuses most gardeners. Rocoto is a giant. Yes, it can grow up to 3 meters tall, but it's a forest giant, not a field giant. It evolved to grow on the edges of misty Andean forests. It hates scorching southern sun. This is actually a huge advantage for you. You don't have to give it your main sunny spot in the garden. You can use it to create a guild. Plant it under your large fruit trees or on the dark side of the house. It loves the dappled light filtering through oak or apple branches. While your tomatoes fight for sun in the center, Rocoto guards the shade on the edges, turning dead zones into a food forest, and finally, the wintering hack. Although it can handle light frosts that immediately kill other peppers, it's not a pine tree. In deep winter zones 7 and below, bring the pots indoors or into the garage. It becomes a beautiful houseplant. Imagine this. While a blizzard rages outside, you sit at your dinner table, reach into your indoor tree, and pick a fresh, crunchy, spicy apple pepper to slice directly into hot soup. It's the ultimate winter luxury. Planting Rocoto is an investment. It's planting a tree that will feed you for 10 years. It's choosing black seeds, resilience instead of white seeds of disposable agriculture. So I have to ask you, do you want a pepper plant that dies in October? Or do you want a companion that will age with you? White seed or black seed? Which one will you bet on? Tell me in the comments below. Thank you for planting this knowledge with us. The wisdom of our grandparents is now in your hands. How good that you made it this far.